Phrase when you say, "Oh yeah, this is our customer that we're moving next week." It very is a one transactional phrase, and he says we treat everybody like a client because in his previous employment, everybody was a client to him. And what does that client mean to you?
Welcome to Movified Wednesdays. Let's go. Welcome to Movified Wednesdays.
Welcome back to Movified. I'm your host, Mark Hirschi, owner of Salmon's Moving and Storage and Ellis Moving and Storage, located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. And it is Movified Wednesdays. And of course, big shout out to my co-host, Stephen Reed, owner of ReadyRolls.com. Thank you. And I don't think I'll ever have to say .com. I always feel like we're really going to get that set up. And also owner of Big League Movers out in Memphis, Tennessee, and On Deck Deliveries. Oh, man. And this pre-trip is always, always sponsored by On Deck Deliveries until we get that sponsor that kicks in that says, "Hey, see you later, On Deck. We got a new sponsor." No, I'm just joking.
We're always on deck. You, Vivance. Where are you at,
right.
Vivance? Adderall. We have an open spot for a great niche market.
I know. I'm super excited to kind of kick this off, and this is a great episode because this is our Thanksgiving episode. This is about just, what we're thankful for, where we've come, what's been happening. And Steve, like, buddy, I mean,
I'm excited about this.
Yeah. I mean,
lots
of things have happened.
We haven't checked in, right? You know what I mean? It's with our viewers on our podcast. The last you knew is we were doing the Movified Nation tour, and here we are at the end of the Movified Nation tour. I think where you at live right now, Mark?
I'm live here at the Atlas Van Line Conference in Palm Springs.
Exactly. So, and that was the last stop, right, for the year.
This is the last stop. You know what I'm even more thankful for and excited to see is all of those that have filled out our newsletter form, because we have that Van Winkle that is just glistening in Steven's cabinet, waiting to be gifted and given away to that lucky listener.
Yep, we're going to take all the signups until the end of the month. So the stragglers from Mark's last conference here at the Atlas. And then I did a webinar today with Rotate Digital. So
that's right.
Tell some people a little bit about it. And this episode will be our last episode, I think, before the end of the month. So guys, quit delaying it. You've heard it enough. It's your last chance to get the Van Winkle. Get over to movifiednation.com. and fill out that form. Let's get going.
One of the first things I want to be thankful for is my family, and a big shout out to my wife, who has had to deal with all of our kids while I've been traveling this past week.
100%.
I flew out on Saturday out to Ottawa, which is in Canada, and we flew out there. Shout out to Jamie, if he's watching this, from Atlas. He came and picked me up, and one of the other moving company owners, Colby Kiss, who's been on the show, and we went out to the spa. What up, Colby? He took us out. We then headed up to Kingston, Ontario, which is the home of the Tragically Hip. It's a big band out here in Canada, very popular. And we also hit up the Kingston Penitentiary, which, if you're going to pay attention to some of the reels that we're going to produce, was pretty interesting. It was wild to see this penitentiary go into the cells. You saw me behind bars. I had a couple people comment being like, did Steven lock you up?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I was worried about it right there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's really neat. Where's Nickelback from?
I want to say Alberta and BC. They're kind of like a mix.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a notch. Mm. I know you're a big fan of Nickelback.
Oh yeah. I mean, never made it as a wise man. I mean,
no.
Everybody turned on them. I don't know what in one day, they just had one. It's too much. We had too much. It was on the radio too much. But Nickelback, shout out, so. Canadians.
I feel like they did the same thing with Creed.
There's another band, a rock band I liked back then that was Canadian. Default. Have you heard of them?
Oh, of course, for sure. Yeah, now that's super local. Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah, that's. I don't know. Probably doing the old timers tour with Nickelback. I'm assuming.
Default. If you're listening out there, let us know where you're from. We know you're Canadian, though. That's what we do.
And we'd love a track, for the Movified Nation to make up.
Yeah.
So,
We
man,
should do a
it's
competition for the next Van Winkle. It's like, hey, we want a live song, not this AI stuff. We gotta get a
that's
live
right.
song.
That's
We're
right.
looking.
That's
You're
right.
competing with Nickelback.
Speaking of AI songs, if everybody's kind of enjoyed our little intros that we've been doing for the Movified Monday and Wednesdays, let us know. I'd love to hear your feedback on on the AI track that I created. That kind of gives that little fun intro now. Yeah, I think I love it. I was super stoked. My wife says, please stop producing music. It's got to be over it. But you know what was really interesting at the CAM conference is I actually, and for all those, Suno, if you get on ChatGPT, craft a prompt for Suno and have it make a song for your moving company, and then utilize that song as your hold music. And you can try, like, depending on what kind of hold music you're having right now, if you're using Ring Central or Dial Pad, so I know a lot of moving companies that have,
I got "Take Me Out to Your Ball Game." I don't know if you know that song, but "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
I sure
I
do.
have
I
that one.
sure do.
A slow roll, yeah, goes with the
Yeah.
theme. But
Yeah. But you should then
yeah,
use Take
the
Me Out to
whole
the
music.
Bod. Yeah. Use that theme and then incorporate Big League Movers
Update
into it.
that thing.
Right? Update
Update it.
it.
You're right.
And this way, and then
Absolutely.
rotate that, right? Have a Christmas jingle, coming up
Mhm.
for the winter, and then have even like a call to action
Oh,
on
a
that
little bit of
on that
Memphis
whole,
caroling.
right? I'm
Wow.
telling you, this could be a big thing
So
because
tell me about the
one
process. What did you do when you got it? How did you make that song?
Okay, so basically, I went on ChatGPT. I crafted the prompt. Act like a. I'm kind of winging it here, but act like a professional song producer for Suno, and
Okay.
generate a prompt that I can use to create the
Did
best,
you pick a
catchiest.
kind of producer though? Were you like,
No, I
I
didn't.
mean, are you a
I
Scott
didn't even think
Scorch
about that.
guy? Are you
No, yeah, I wouldn't even know any
yeah,
producers to kind of pick. I mean, it's am I going for like the Dr.
DJ
Dre?
Paul and the 3 6 Mafia? I mean, you
That's
got to go,
that's right. I feel like that's
uh
100% where you lean on
oh
to.
yeah, DJ Drama, that's another one
That's
I'd
right.
go to. Crunk ain't dead. That's what they say around here.
That's right. It's the
And speaking of which, Mark's first version he sent me, I said, I really love it. I really love it. But can you do a crunk version? Like a little bit of Memphis version.
and it was so weird because, and I feel like the final versions kind of came out a little bit more crunk, but you'd have to listen to the whole song. So you take that and then you want to generate a song. So you go, okay, great. Now just generate me the lyrics that are catchy, have a solid hook. It's going to be played on a top 10 radio station. So this way it's going to be catchy, and then add everything you want. Hey, I wanted to have salmons moving in storage. It's been around since 1913. We provide XYZ services. Include your tagline in there. Maybe even have your phone number in there or your website, and then let it generate that song. Once it's generated that song, I'm gonna say, give me like the genre. It actually produces. It tells you what kind of genre do you want. You can also say, hey, listen, I want it more. I want it more like crunk hip hop style. I want it more folksy. I want it more top 40. I want to have however you want to have them. The big things that you have to be careful on is that when you go use Suno, what you need to do is you want to tap over to the custom, the more detailed version, because you can flip back and forth to one that's going to get generated from Suno right off the bat, or if you want to add more detail. So then I take those lyrics, I drop the lyrics in there, and then it says, now, how do you want your style? And then I copy and paste the style in ChatGPT and drop that in there as well too. If you have popular music artists that ChatGPT has produced, delete that and try and then ask ChatGPT to give me what type of like genre is this based on these music singers and artists, because they will constantly kick you back saying, no, sorry, you can't use Celine Dion. Sorry, Stephen Reed. You
Mm.
can't use Sarah McLachlan. I'm tossing all these
Will
amazing, right?
fall. You're throwing
Wherever
out the
you go.
Lilith
The
Fair
Lilith
lineup
Fair.
from 2002.
I know, right? Uh, so you definitely want to cut that out. Let it produce a
Fiona
song as
Apple.
Fiona Apple. It's going to Sinead O'Connor. It's going to I got that Sinead O'Connor look going on right now. You definitely, and then from there, it's going to produce 2 tracks, and then you can actually add like a cover art to it. You can publish it on your own channel. I love it because you know what, the Suno listeners and those that follow, also you're building this platform on there as well too. And then if you want to take it
Oh,
if you want to take it to a step farther, you can go to Sora and help produce a little music video to go along with it. So what I ended up doing was um what I ended up doing is I took that's fine, cool, answer it. I took it to another level and got CAM, the Canadian Association of Movers, to provide me with a bunch of a bunch of photos. And I took those photos, I sent it to my VAs, said, "Hey, here's the song, here's the photos. Can you do a collage? Here's the logo. Can you do this? Can you make sure the lyrics are up there?" And then they actually played it Monday morning at the conference, and people were astounded. They couldn't believe that I produced this whole thing and that it was an AI generated song, and it took me probably about 8 minutes from start to finish. And
that's
that's including
awesome.
connecting with my VAs. So I actually had a lot of people
AI is
after,
wild.
oh, it's amazing. So to me, that is key. This is what's going on. And so what I would suggest is for anybody that wants to do it, you can either reach me out, DM me, and I can walk you through a little bit farther, but give it a shot.
That goes
Uh
down in the DMs. It goes. We should have a song for this moment when we say that. Like it goes down. Wait, there is one. We don't have rights, so let's make our own version.
That's right. That's right. From there, I flew right over to the Atlas conference, and the Atlas conference was great. I had some of my boys from the Let's Go Moving, or Let's Go Moving, Let's Go Boys group. Matt Young from Moving
Yep.
Letters came out here with his
What up, Matt?
partner Zach. What up, Matt? And he was a vendor at the event, so he got it. My family was already down here in Palm Springs, and we've had a great experience. One of the big things, and we talked about this in the debrief with Matt and Zach in our episode that's going to air
What up,
just after
Zach?
Thanksgiving, is that they are very family oriented at this conference. Atlas is really all about family. So, I highly suggest for those that are throwing these conferences to also jump on that bandwagon. Invite your family down, make it kid friendly, make it spouse friendly as well too. Try and really make it. I know that Austin for the Moving Army, he's heavily trying to push, bring your spouse to the Moving Army event that's happening in January on the 9th and 10th in Arizona, because they're part of your team, right? And I know this has been like a 10-minute trail about what I'm thankful for, but I'm thankful for
No,
my
it's
wife and
good.
my
Keep
family
going.
for
Like,
being
yeah,
able to
it's
come
good.
out here. It's been huge. It's been an amazing experience to come out here. It's also interesting, right? And I kind of want to even touch on this platform right now. Is what I notice is one, very generational moving companies that I spoke to, right? Fifth, sixth generation, they've all been in it. A lot of them were looking at my son who's 8 saying, "Man, I remember when I was that spot back in like the 70s or the 80s." A lot of kids that are here that have now are sitting on the board for different moving companies because they've grown up in the industry. Is that a benefit, or is that hindering you? Because what I found also was that they could care less about the independents. They are so busy on the B2B business as opposed to the B2C, which is what we are heavily striving on and doing. But one of the guys that came on the show that you're going to see in a couple weeks has a moving company. He came from a totally different aspect of his business, came into the moving industry, bought a company that had about 30 trucks on the East Coast, implemented smart moving. But one of the key things that I want to share with you, it's going to be on the episode, that I really appreciated, was he said customers, the phrase customer, when we say, "Hey, you know what, let's go reach out to this customer," is a one-time transaction. The actual phrase, when you say, "Oh yeah, this is our customer that we're moving next week," it very is a one transactional phrase. And he says we treat everybody like a client, because in his previous employment, everybody was a client to him. And what does that client mean to you?
Before we ever started using a moving CRM, someone asked me, could you 10x what you're doing right now with the current systems and processes you have in place? And I said no. And so he was like, well, then you need to just pull the trigger on the software. And then I saw Smart Moving and it was game over.
Austin joined thousands of moving owners on Smart Moving in 2021. Since then, he's more than doubled his business.
And I always compare Smart Moving to Apple products. It's just so simple, so easy to use, and that's really what's allowed my team to scale and now have 2 branches. And last year we scaled Central Coast Moving over 50% growth.
If you're ready to turn your moving company into a machine that drives profit, not chaos, try Smart Moving.
Hey everyone, Matty Mailer's here, the guy who pioneered handwritten letters for the moving industry. Why? Because my competition at my moving company was using the same stock postcards as me, and my mailing company didn't care. So I created a better way. Here's some mind-blowing results in July. Miracle Movers Utah closed $93,000 using our handwritten letter strategy. With our campaigns, you can forget about the guessing games. You get a trackable phone number, daily photo proof, an incredible design team, and I'm also included. All letters stop at me for approval before they ever leave our facility. Right now, Movified listeners get 1,000 golden tickets stuffed in our genuine handwritten letters completely free. Plus, I'm going to throw in bulk realtor data for up to 5 counties. What are you waiting for? Moving Letters AI. Stop competing, start dominating.
And I really want to kind of like ask those that are listening, what does the definition of a client mean to you? And he kind of explained this out and he says, look, a client to me means I'm building a profile, right? I want to make sure that I'm building a profile for my client because a client is going to be using me over and over and over again. And so that client has a massive file. Right? There's everything about them. And I want to make sure that when their first move happens, I've already built this entire profile in them, whether it's who's their wife, who's their spouse, do they have kids, do they have family, do they have a dog? I want to build this into their profile. And so that in my customer notes, I have this when I look back and they move again, I can go, oh, that's right. Their dog, Freddie, is a lab. We helped move their statue. We're helping relocate here. They moved because they just sold their home or they just transferred for new business. If you start building your customer profile up on that first initial move and starting with your sales consultants that are going out there, your moving consultants, this way you have something to look back on. Right? It's just like I say when you meet someone. So me and Steven meet for the first time. We go, hey Steven, can you give me your contact details? Right? We tap phones, we tap our data, everything else. If you haven't really got that NFP card and now you are just getting their basic information, I want to find out. I want to know, where is he located? What is Steven like? He loves crunk music. This guy loves 3-6 Mafia. Like there's a certain
Mafia, yeah.
But I want to kind of have that profile so that when I run into Steven again and I see him off at the distance, I could pull up my contact on the phone, look at it and go, oh shit, that's right. Hey, he's got 2 kids. He's got a son and daughter, right? His wife's amazing. He lives out in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
XYZ. And so when I walk up to him, like, hey buddy, like, how's the family? How's this? How's your dog? Like,
yeah, I was curious. How's it going?
I kind of
That's
have
so
this.
good
And
for ADHD.
oh, for sure. For sure. So because you tend to forget, there's so many people that came up to me and I was actually pleasantly surprised. I actually had people walk by and say, hey, I listened to you. Oh yeah. Hey, here's the Movified station. So it was really interesting. It was really cool to see that Movified has grown so much that it's not just hitting up the independents, but it is also hitting up the van lines. They are pleasantly surprised by what we're producing and what we're putting out there. So it's great. Both of those I'm super thankful for. Steven, you've come off the Built to Move conference and you've also been super busy, right? You were showing me with like all your notes, all your things, like what's going on with you?
So I was just going on a thankful rant, and the last time we kind of talked about our schedule was going on the Movified Nation tour. So I thought back to the last thing we talked about, which was Built to Move. So I kind of wrote down a short list, and I'll Quentin Tarantino it. So I'll start and finish the same way. But super thankful for my wife. right? I've done a lot of cool things this past year I never imagined I'd be doing, and my wife's been supportive 100%. So I'll get back to that at the end. But looking back to since Built to Move, well, I turned 41, right? I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm very thankful for that. I got to celebrate that with my family. So I took the family to Tampa. Really had some fun. Put the as Mark knows, I won't even talk to him. I put the phone away during these trips. Got to relax, got to really focus on them and see, gosh, and the way, these trips with family, you kind of just see like, man, my son is growing up in front of me, just kind of comparing to the same spots you've been at with him in younger years. So always really neat. Um, went to Naples as the sharpening the axe meeting that we've done a couple times. I did that episode last week. If you hadn't heard it, go back, retrack.
Yeah.
Great episode. We missed Mark. I'm no host, but as you
Oh,
can
you do
hear,
great.
he's
You
very
do
busy.
great.
I'm very busy. But we had a great time. Great setting. Beautiful setting on that side. But check out that episode. Great episode. But that whole weekend, spent 4 days there. That's an incredible trip. We put our phones away or try to, and really kind of plan on what are we doing? Let's be pointed. How can we help each other sharpen the axe, right, on our next stage in our careers? And so really good weekend. Tim Krupp, shout out to Tim.
Shout out, Tim.
Built to Move coming up, and he's got, I hired him on to be a consultant at my organization and help myself and Megan Bailey, and help with some sales, right? And got to host him at my organization. That's really cool. It's really cool when you have another mover really focused and visit your organization, because you kind of are looking for a sign of approval, right? And getting that nod is always good. And he had some first things that he looked at in my numbers. I'll give you an example a little bit later. Remind me to come to that, back to that. But man, he is so sharp. Within an hour and a half, he looked at reports that I've never even thought of to look at. And found a solution to something that I wasn't aware of. So that's a good one. Yeah, bookmark. Give a bookmark. He found a trend that I have one of my guys, and year over year in the same period, their ghosting rate, so their customers answering after quote, has increased 29%.
Wow.
So I'm able to go, hey, what's going on? What changed? What are you doing different in this 6 weeks period, etc. And my head's never gone there to think about that. So obviously thankful for that, right? That's a good metric for me to know. Are we off putting people on our estimate, or what's happening there for that contact after, right? I hosted Jacob Greer, Giannis, Harry, Carlos, and Van all came to the office. So I'm opening up our doors to do kind of a meeting almost monthly or bi-monthly for Ready Roll clients. I think it's just an added value to come see how we're operating, how is it blend.
I love that you're doing that.
You know me. Yeah, it was so important to me for, and again, seeing peers and getting that nod of approval. There's nothing like it. But also, like, we have an itinerary for that. So 6:30 all the way till 10, you're getting a taste of Big League Movers and what we're doing. And we're looking for things to learn too. Right. So we have an itinerary where you're going through each department. We're going back and forth. So really thankful for that. That was cool. So you kind of see where we're heading, Quentin Tarantino style, right? The wife has been, to do all these things, my wife has been very critical and supportive. So I've kept up with Movified episodes. I hadn't missed one. No, I'm just kidding. Mark had to miss one because we couldn't figure out the technology where we were at. But to have this platform, and again, every time I'm out, just like you said, having somebody pull me aside and say, "Hey, I listened. This made an impact for me." Man, if I would have got one of those this year, I'd be inspired to continue. But I keep getting them every event and saying, like, "Hey, I've learned this. This changed my life. This changed how I run my organization. I started doing this." That fills my tank. So thankful for all the listeners on that and being able to be on these episodes. Being able to give Mark a break for a week on Wednesday. That's really cool because he is the hardest worker in the room. right? You know me, I'll miss an episode here and there. I'll try to get me a firm replacement that I know is solid on that episode, but I'll miss an episode here and there. But Mr. Consistent Mark, I mean, he's never had a break on it, right? So I was kind of thankful to give him that break. I'm finishing. So by the time this episode airs, I'm finishing Nolan's soccer season. I didn't know anything about soccer. Now I like it a lot. We're having fun, and even Dad's footwork's a lot better than it was when we started the year. So really enjoying that. He's really taken a hold of it. So I'm proud to see where he's come for that. So thanks for that. The same thing with Aniston and dance.
Steven's footwork has helped now with his dancing skills as well too.
Oh, it keeps going. It keeps going, right? So busy since Built to Move. Aniston's in dance. So getting to see her love something and experience that. And boy, we're counting a lot, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, enjoying that together, having that moment. I'm learning how to dance in a lot of ways. We've hit our goals at Ready Rolls. So thankful for my team there, Yeah, we'll see. I keep working on the footwork, right? But we hit our goals at Ready Rolls. Really proud of that team. I stretched them, right? I pushed them. We pushed them as a Movified listener base, right? And they continue to amaze me and deliver about how much they care. I was on a webinar today, right before this episode, so got a platform to talk. And really neatly enough, it was the first time Mia, who's one of my EAs, would lie. Mia was able to be on there with me, and boy, we had fun. I think we knocked it out of the park. It's one thing for me to talk about this, but for everybody to see how smart Mia is and how much she brings to me as my executive assistant in our relationship. And so she came on here and I asked her to say, hey, what's a perfect owner? How does a perfect owner maximize an executive virtual assistant? And really enjoyed that opportunity. So shout out to Travis at Rotate Digital, our sponsor. So
Yeah,
thank you for
shout
that.
out to
Thank
Travis
you for
for
that
sure.
platform. I think it'll be on YouTube as well here in the future. My team. So I've done a lot, right? I've been going, man, I have a moving company, right? And I have a pretty dang complicated moving company. So shout out to them for holding it down and having smiles and really doing a good job executing and keeping the values and proving to me that I get in the way sometimes. And so I'm giving everybody just in a thankful spirit, everybody's getting $50 for me to buy themselves a turkey or
I love that.
dressing or whatever it may be, just as a thank you. So thankful for them. Watching you and Prob and helping you launch this mastermind and being a part of the mastermind, I'm thankful for that. So gosh, you asked me what's been going on since Built to Move and a mixture of the thankful episode. Yeah, I've been busy. And so all encompassing back Quentin Tarantino style, so thankful for my wife, right? The rock star here that allowed me to go do that after the Movified tour. And she believes that I can make an impact, right? And so thankful for her and that support doing that. All that long-winded. Did I mention we won our Memphis Most Best Movie Company 9 times?
What?
9 times? Yeah, in that period as well.
Being found on the second page of Google is literally like having a billboard in the middle of the desert. Your mama ain't gonna see it. No one's gonna see it. You're on the second page of Google, no one's gonna call, no one's gonna book. Here is the deal. If your business is not ranking on the top of Google, that means your competitors are going to be stealing your customers every single day. So at Rotate Digital, we don't play any guessing games. We use data-driven SEO strategies to make sure Google finds you first so that these Google searches turn into your customers, not your competitors' customers. How do we do it? We do it through AI-driven keyword optimization, exclusive blog networks, backlinking strategies, and honestly, the secret stuff, the proprietary lead attribution software. So what do you get as a result? You get not only good marketing, but now you get clarity into what is bringing you more revenue. So if that's something you want to do, you want to make sure your leads find you and not your competition, go ahead and go to rotatedigital.com, schedule a call, and we'll help you take your business to the top of Google.
If you're considering Snowball, just do it.
Snowball creates done-for-you referral programs for moving companies so you can turn happy customers into new revenue without lifting a finger. And the results speak for themselves.
In less than a year, we've collected over 2,000 referrals.
We generated over $200,000 of revenue that cost about $5,000 to do it.
I believe we had 4 or 5 the very first day.
The companies winning with Snowball are the ones that already care about their customers. We just help turn that into new business through human outreach and customer nurturing.
Snowball is part of the arsenal of tools that I recommend to my clients because it works.
That's a great transition. I know he specifically was trying to make sure that that transition was happening, but let's talk about that because, you know, and not to talk about myself, but, you know, taking over Ellis in August, I was at the local coffee shop, and of course, in the North Shore in North Vancouver, they have the North Shore News, and I find it so wild because, you know, a lot of these cities will always do the best of, and they don't actually put moving companies on there, which to me is so vital, and it blows me away. But in the North Shore News, they actually have the best for moving companies and storage companies. And of course, I'm going through there and I'm looking at who's the past winners for the last couple of years. And, you know, I see the top 2 moving companies in there. And I want to make sure that Ellis Moving and Storage gets on that top 3. So, you know, we've been out there voting, trying to push it, make sure that, you know, everybody out there understands it because it means a lot. And, you know, when I think of someone that has won it 9 times, 100% well-deserved moving company for the best of Memphis. Congratulations on that. You just muted yourself though, Stephen. So I want to make sure that, there we go. Dude, 9 times. Congratulations. Like how can, I mean, we all know how you're doing it, but like, how are you doing it?
Yeah, so it means so much. Like that's something that's a motivator for me. I know it's not a motivator for everybody, but it's genuinely, at least the paper here, it's generally off of votes, right? And they have rules about how often you can vote. And that, man, I lost it 1 year since they've had a moving company. And I put that on my wall because I said I need to make a bigger impact in my community.
I love this story.
Right. And that's just, it's a driver for me. So it does mean a lot for me. It's one of the highs my team gets, right? Having that award is a big bump in pride and being able to have that and say, you know what, we worked hard and this is acknowledgement for that, right, as a team. And so I always look forward to it. I don't go, you know, your limited tickets when you do win. So now I'm enjoying it more. I'm on the edge of my seat. It was last Thursday, I think. I was on the edge of my seat and waiting, but I'm so thankful to be able to put my team there. So like, you know, while we're on their fire, while we've been in business. So I had Megan, my head of ops, and her husband. So she's newer to our team. So I wanted her to be a part of something exciting. Right. I had Connor, our sales team lead, right? And then I had Jeff, our head move, especially you've heard me talk about the Jeffs, right? But my guy since day one, Jeff's on the sales end, and he's always been the guy in the background. I think he nicknames me Hollywood, never to me, but I've heard it. I've heard it, Jeff. I've heard you call me Hollywood out there, right? But no, Jeff's always been the one in the background doing the things as I'm walking across that stage. Right. And so I get a high off of seeing him walk across that stage and say, man, this is nice, way more than I do. So that experience is awesome. And so that's kind of in a nutshell. It means so much. My team gets a high off of it. We have a pizza party. We have a celebration. It's just really good. It's really good vibes. I had to, and also like I take a little bit of ownership in it because like it wasn't an award, like you said, in some of these papers. And I literally campaigned for 2 years with the editor, right, of the paper. They had a guy named Michael Donahue who was the face of it, right? And man, I smothered them. I sent some gifts a couple of times, like, and it wasn't to win, it was to give me a platform to have this. Like I want to be the best Memphis moving company. And I want my team to enjoy that. And I want that to be the bar. And so, yeah, it's a big deal to me. And I know it's not a lot to some, but it is. It's a big award. all around.
Well, congratulations, 100%.
Thank you.
I mean, it's so good.
Hey, it's Mark with Movified, and I'm here to talk about Canada Home Listings. They are the only direct mailer service built specifically for household good movers in Canada. That's right, my hometown. They help moving companies reach homeowners the moment they list their home with proven mail campaigns that drive results. And for the Movified listeners, they're offering exclusive promotions you won't find anywhere else. So go check them out today. Go online, go do your thing, and go find them. Canada Home Listings right now. Go. And then keep watching the show.
I don't even know where they all are. I wish I had like 9 to put on the wall or show you, but like I'll let my people enjoy it. You know, like this is the sign of where we're at. Walk around the office,
Should
you'll
be.
see
It
one
should,
here, see
yeah,
one there, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't just have it in your office. It should be out there for everybody to appreciate and see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of want to touch on my second part of being thankful, and this one really kind of goes out to you. You know, as you were talking and stuff like that, like inside, I was kind of getting a bit emotional because I truly appreciate our friendship, how we connected,
Absolutely.
how each of us have grown substantially in the last year. It wouldn't be for this platform, and getting out there. And this is what I always tell so many people also, like, get out there, because
Absolutely.
there is going to be someone at a conference or at an event that it's their very, very first time getting out there, or maybe they're just a big introvert. They're not good on speaking, and go
I used to
introduce
be that
yourself.
guy,
For sure.
right? I was
I did
never
too.
had time for an event. I always wanted to go, right?
I said to my wife, I said the first time I ever went to a CAM conference was probably one of my first big conferences other than like a BNI, right? And I mean, BNI is great because it helps you kind of get your elevator pitch, kind of gets you out there meeting people, but you're not really around your peers, if that makes sense. Like, you're just with other business owners. But when you're at like a moving conference where there are some big players or some new players, and now you're going out there and trying to, I don't know, like, impress them. Like, you just kind of want to make an impression. That first impression is always super key. But where I've evolved as in public speaking, as a person, and as a moving company owner or an entrepreneur, going to these events now where everybody wants to come up and talk to you. They want to, whether they're thanking you for the platform that you've produced or just want to chat, I think is amazing. And that's why I
For
heavily,
being somebody to be there to chat, to be inviting to chat, right?
and I was going up to people that I could see, hey, listen, it's they had a first attendee tag, right, at the CAM conference or even at this Atlas conference. If I'm seeing people that are just kind of, they're not really, they don't, maybe it's their first time at an Atlas conference. I want to go up there and say, hey, what's going on? What do you do? Right? Like, how can I help? How can you help me? How can we work together? Is there somebody you want me to
How
introduce
can we
you
play
to?
tag, right?
You're right. How do we play tag? I think it's so vital.
So I'll go back to you on that. So thankful. When I look back, this episode is one of the first episodes I remember as we did a Thanksgiving episode last year.
That's right.
And so officially, it's been a year that I can remember with you and I talking a little bit before the show. And man, really thankful for that. Seeing where you're at, seeing me push you a little bit at these times, and seeing you go dive it all in, yeah, and diving on and same back to me, right? It is a true iron sharpens iron relationship, and I'm very thankful for it. So thankful for you. Thank you for the Movified, and I hope we're making an impact to continue. So again, thank you, Mark. Now that we've had our bromance moment.
I still wanted to keep it going. I'm getting even like, more emotional thinking about it. When Steven talks about, the push, there's times where I'm not even thinking about the next step because I'm always thinking about tomorrow. And Steven thinks about these bigger pictures, which I appreciate and love him for. And I'll never forget sitting there in Nashville at a bar, and he goes, what do you need to make this successful? Like, how can we make Movified podcasts like the #1 podcast? How can we make this to a next degree? And before I even had a chance to respond, he goes, all right, here you go. Here's the outline platform, and this is what you're going to do, and this is what we need to do, and da 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 da. And I was like, I mean, the moment I left him, I'm like on the phone to my wife being like, you won't believe, like we have like a game plan. Everything's laid out. You know, we're going to take this to the next level. And it's just makes me so thankful for you in my life of where we are and Ready Rolls, right? Like to have VAs. And when I think back to a year and a half, like over a year ago when I met you, having somebody in my office that was, you know, I'm constantly over their shoulder going, no, don't like this in Canva. No, I was controlling the situation so much on all of our posts, and we were only posting at that time maybe like 3 times a week. And now to have VAs that are, you know, getting this all done, and we are just powerhousing through, you know, with new content and the amazing graphics that Shira and her team are doing, you know, in the back end of my VAs. Yeah, man. And it's also freed up so much of my time. And I've also learned to let go, right? I think that's the biggest thing is as business owners is we just micromanage so much, but to let go and have the right people in place is so key. So yeah, super thankful. Now,
I got a shout out to that too. 100, you know, I'm going to plug, you start saying it, right? No, but just as a thing of my clients, right? The people that trusted me, that from listening to this or feeling a need or seeing that I overcame that, you know, the thing we've had over 150 matches placed, right? And the thing, man, that's really 300 people that are impacted by that on both sides. It's a win-win to set up that relationship and say, man, it's a cool thing to really help. It's like put 2 people together that can really help each other out. And so that's a full cup. So thank you for our clients at Ready Rolls and our candidates that took a risk and continue to take a risk with going up, signing up with us.
If you're a moving company or home service business and it feels stuck this year, you're not alone. The market is changing. It's unpredictable. And the pressure is building and it's all on your shoulders. But you don't have to guess your way through another quarter. On January 9th and 10th in Chandler, Arizona, I'll be here with Jeremy Miner. Also, Jason and Allie Watson and other multi-million-dollar business owners. We're hosting a 2-day event built to help you create the structure, the systems, the confidence to drive the real growth in your business that you're hoping for. This isn't about hype. It's all about execution and massive action. Click below to grab your ticket to the next step towards clarity and control in your business.
We recently hired Ready Rolls to help us with hiring some offshore help, some VAs, and they've done an amazing job. You know, they found the perfect candidate for our company. Not only that, they helped answer the questions that we had about the process. You know, initially, you know, hiring a VA can be a bit intimidating, but they answered all the questions. It's been an amazing experience. You know, our VA has been a huge part of our success thus far. We're actually in the process of hiring a few more right now. Definitely see them as being a key part of our growth and reaching our goals in 2025. And another game changer for our company. I'm confident to be a game changer.
Visit ReadyRolls.com. There is now a better way to scale.
Now, before I hit you with the last nugget and we sign off, we are going to shoot over to a Dolly Dash.
Dolly Dash.
Roll the tape.
Hey, it's Mark Hirschi. Movified. It's the Dolly Dash moment, and I am super pleased to have one of the salesmen from Francisco, Sam. Sam, you were just about to explain to us, like, you're originally from Cambodia. Can you give a little bit of history of, like, your upbringing, where you came from, like, what was brings up being in the food industry, coming to sales?
I was a survivor child in the killing fields. So when my mom was pregnant, she was working in the rice mill with guns drawn.
Oh my God.
If she made a wrong move, they just shoot her dead. Right? I believe when I was around 3-ish years old, my parents escaped from the camp they were at and made it to Thailand. And who was chasing after us? We were escaping. We basically made it to Thailand and then got into a refugee camp in Thailand. And then a church sponsored us out of Lincoln, Florida. A church sponsored us from the United States in 1980. And I was 5 years old then. Wow. So I've been here since, and I'm 50 years old now.
So coming in as immigrants into America, what did your parents do? Did they start trying to live that American dream and run their own business? How did that come out?
I think they did odd and end jobs back then. My dad got a job at a Chinese restaurant to cook Chinese food. I always left at home. I'm a Cambodian, so my father's Chinese, my mother's Cambodian. So I was left with my mom and my grandmother. I was the one that loved my grandma, so I was here at home cooking with her, being, donate maintenance and everything, and I love to cook. And then I learned about Chinese food too. And then over when I got to teenage years in my 20s, I loved to cook, so I just branched off and did work for like TGI Fridays, Olive Garden, lobster. I was a young cook, so I just went everywhere and tried to learn everything.
Now, being at the age that you are, and being that chef, you now got out of being a chef, and I remember you talked earlier with some of our friends about the fact that, hey, listen, I was working, over 70 hours a week, working in a restaurant field, to now doing sales, working 35 hours a week, thinking, if not more, with both chefs. What you see, too, when it comes down to sales, was like a pivotal switch, because you probably weren't getting sales. All right, you were in the back.
Very scared. I was scared of the sales. I wanted a guarantee of money, you know what I mean? So Cisco, fortunately, they don't do commission anymore. We get a good salary because we want to take care of our customers, right? So I go there and say, look, I don't work on commission. I get a nice salary. I take care of you. My thing is I want to get as much cases as I can from you. I want to take care of it. And as a chef, I get to tell them like, hey, let's do this recipe. I got this on sale. We can make this recipe out of that and make you money. That's what I do. I help my customers up their sales by giving them offering about what kind of stuff they can do with our product.
Sure. Yeah. Like in the moving field, what ends up happening a lot is we get someone that's doing sales that either came from a different area of the world. Right. They come in, they maybe do the training, they learn the basics, but they never really worked out in the field. They don't really understand what it's like being on the trucks. They just come in and do sales. Right. And most of them are either commission structured or base salary. Do you find the fact that you working in the kitchen, understanding what it's like to work with the product, has benefited you more in sales than somebody that is sitting at the table behind us that maybe didn't have that kind of experience before?
Oh, absolutely. Me being a chef and understanding, but I used to work for Cisco. I worked with Cisco, Benny Key, PMT, and I love Cisco's product. I've always wanted to go there, and work with them. And for me, I know I used to work in the warehouse business too. I used to be a selector, a forklift driver, a cherry picker. I was the guy that, hey, this customer want how many cases? I went out to the warehouse and grabbed those cases. Not all of us in the kitchen, but in the warehouse aspect as well. So I knew what the selectors do. I knew what it took for them to go from this truck to get these right. So they helped me out a lot. I'm not a salesperson. I still don't think I'm a salesperson. I just want to help others. And the restaurant I'm here, they get like they need. Right. On the warehouse aspect and recipes and things I can help them with. I think I'm doing real well.
It's a very different take, because if I always have the philosophy from working in a kitchen to then becoming a server to like management, where in my 20s it was so vital when I was talking to customers at the table that I understood the product, I understood the kitchen and so listening from you, where we have so many sales staff in the movie industry that aren't on the trucks and understanding the product, is so vital in your sales pitch, in the way you talk to customers, to understand everything.
Well, I don't feel like I have a sales pitch when I go to a restaurant. Who do you use? They use us. They say they don't use us. We help you out. This is what I can offer them. The only one I can offer them is good quality food, but I'll offer them, which I think was my experience, and that's how it went my customer goes. Because I was there from being a chef, I was there just selecting their food from the warehouse. So I give them a good basis of everything. Like, I can help you out.
Sharing a story.
I'm sharing a story. I'm not here to save them money. I'm here to let them make money. Right? You can save them a little bit on food and things like that. But my deal is I need to help them make money. If I can offer them recipes, good product, they can make money in the long run. That's how I get my business. Share my knowledge.
How do you overcome any objections with someone comes in and says, well, but we use this product and we really intensely been using this product for years. You'd rather prefer to stay with these kind of vendors as opposed to going to the this is your tactic. So what do you usually say in a sense to overcome those situations?
When they say something like that, I say, well, let me see what you're doing, right? And I watch them as being a chef too. I watch and see what they're doing, and then I kind of critique them a little bit. And some of them they do a great job, and they got a great product. But I can always make a better profit and a better product, better presentation. Right? It's also other things I can offer, not just the product. I can offer other things that we sell for presentation, you know, and different flavoring as well too. So my knowledge goes a long way of how I can get my product.
I love that. Last final question before we go. If you, being around the industry, talking to so many people, the way you have this amazing life experience and where you've grown up and the struggles of your family coming in, what is one key advice you want to tell someone that's trying to get into sales, that maybe is nervous, doesn't understand, you know, the process or anything else, but like maybe like a mentor, what key advice would you want to give someone that's looking to get that?
Learn as much as you can about the product. Learn the recipes. Learn, you know, what it takes to get from point A to point B. I'm still learning. You know, I've only done this for a year. I've been a chef for 30 years.
And you're like 35.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm 35 years old. But, you know, it's just like being honest, right? I'm not here to be honest with yourself, being honest with them.
Yeah.
I'm not here to up your prices so I can make a commission, because I don't work on commission. They pay me well for me to get you to get more products, right? And if I can make you grow, that's more product you get from me, right? So I'm not offering, oh, I'll get you this real cheap. You can buy X amount. No, I say, I'm not the cheapest guy. That's a great quality, and we can do it this way. And it's going to up your revenue. You up your revenue, that means you order more cases for me. I can help you make money. That's where I get satisfaction.
Thank you so much, Sam. This has been a pleasure. Awesome. Enjoy your conference here. And this has been a Movified Minute. Stay Movified.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I always love these Dolly Dash moments. They're so good. Dolly Dash brought to you by Movifiednation.com. Make sure this is about building a community. This is about building this platform and extending it on. You've heard about the masterminds. You've heard about how impactful it's been. Join already the $250 million worth of revenue that's being produced by just a couple of mastermind groups. We are expanding it out. We are already trying to get our January and February launches out for the next groups. So please go to Movifiednation.com. Go to Mastermind, fill out that form. We want to talk to you. It's a quick, simple form for you to fill out so we get to know you, and then we want to talk. And the app is coming out too, guys. We're going to keep you posted when that's popping out, and that's going to join the community and build that out.
I couldn't contain myself. I had those guests in our building, right? And we actually happened to, it lined up where our mastermind group, number one, code number one is what we'll call it, right? But our mastermind group was at the same time. And so we had the team, I had the other owners in the background. And boy, they saw like, man, this is really impactful. So thankful for that as well. Thankful for mastermind number uno. Huge impact. Every time we meet, we have action items that has made my business and myself a lot better as a leader.
I love it. I'm going to leave everybody with a nugget before we sign off. And I already spoiled some of these nuggets in an upcoming episode that you guys are going to check in. But talking to a packing supply company, this is the first nugget, because you wait till the next episode and find out some more. But what made me think is the flaps in our boxes. We think about the outside, right? We think about that outside box. And what he said to me is that, you know, the entire print, when a box is flat, so when the box is completely flat, it's getting printed 360, right? The front side, the back side. And a lot of us think, okay, we need to make sure that we have the section where you can fill out the name, inventory, like what's all in here. You know, sometimes there's a call to action. You got your logo on the sides and everything. And what I thought is that on the actual flaps that go into the box, when you close it in, that's still printable area. And what you actually should have on those flaps is a like how to use, right? Or give it a tip, or maybe, you know, like if anybody that's following like Clutch Moving services, go check out Clutch.
Yeah, what up, Steve?
What's up, Steve and Mandick? Buddy's been busting my balls lately because we had to reschedule him because he's so busy with all his interior designers. But you know, if you look at his,
I think that was our fault.
I think it was.
This is my personal opinion. Yeah, sorry, Steve. I corrected
That's
it.
right. Thank you. And so when you look at these boxes, check out his marketing material. It's fly, and I love all the stuff that he's putting on the back of the trucks. But you can make it funny. You can make it a pro tip. I actually just think, you know, on one of those flaps, moving pro tip, right? And then utilize it for your small, your medium, and your large boxes, and throw a tip on there. Or the flap that comes down in the wardrobe box, right? You can actually have on an inside flap, so it still prints on the same side, but you can have like, you know, don't forget to hang your clothes, or like you can fill some shoes at the bottom of the box. I don't know, some kind of tip that you could probably ChatGPT these tips on there, and it just makes you stand out a little extra. Right. And a lot of times our clients will get your moving boxes, and they think, oh, great, I can put like all my books in this like huge, large box when you don't want them to. Right. So maybe that's a tip. Please do not, moving tip, do not fill with books. Right. You know,
nice.
Pro tip,
a pro
tip, like on your dish pack boxes, you know, pro tip. Make sure packing paper is being layered at the bottom. Crunch up your packing paper, right? And layer your dishes. Anything like that, I think, is a great tip, and it's going to make you stand out more against your competitors in your market. So that's my pro tip. There's your nugget. Steven, any final words?
No, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Very
Thanksgiving,
thankful
everybody.
for everybody that listens to us.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it, you Americans, because we already had our Canadian Thanksgiving because we tried to do it a little bit early. I think they just gave us a random date in October, so we had to roll with it. So
you're celebrating both.
I'm celebrating both. You better be sure I am. For all those that are watching and listening, please hit the follow, hit the subscribe. Make sure you're liking it. Make sure you're hitting us with the 5-star. 5-star us, because we 5-star you, and we really appreciate all those that are watching and listening. And stay movified. Nothing out of Steven. As if like the Apple podcast listeners are going to see you pointing and a smile at the very end, but that's okay.
Apple's behind on that. I mean, nobody's using it anymore, right? I'm just kidding.
That's
I
right.
use it.
That's right. Everybody does.
You're a Spotify guy, though, right?
I'm a Spotify guy for sure. Yeah.
I've kind of converted over to YouTube a little bit.
Oh, good for
myself.
you. Good for you.
Yep.
All right. Till next time, everybody.